and make sure my audio is working properly. Test out a little bit. Yep. Have to do that every single time I try to stream now because the computers and technology act so iffy. Like I've had stuff where you can have a device properly emulate sound, and tomorrow it's acting up. So it's a recurrence during the streams. I have to check out and make sure that it's acting properly. And it really sucks because if I do something on my phone, for example, like when I just hold it up to a camera during a lot of the uploads during the week, no concerns about audio issues. But whenever it's something where I'm talking about, like doing a stream or another off the cuff thing I can't really control the production of, that's when we get that big issue. But the title is suggestive of the fact that I completely ran out of things to, I guess, make the subject of the stream. So I just thought, well, I'll just title it this, and then as I go, I can alternate between ideas or topics and whatnot. The voice actor circumstance has gotten a lot better as of late because I've had these people actually choose to return my contacts. Um, it's I just think it's insane that like you give these people time to do stuff, and the second you express any kind of dissatisfaction with their conduct, you're the villain. Like that's still crazy to me, but whatever. People have a victim culture, so someone can sign up for something, not do it, and then the person who they told they would do it is the bad guy for holding them to their word. What a crime. Can't even be shocked anymore. That's the nature of online interactions. Like stuff is all backwards. I had a guy on this stream earlier today who I've spoken with maybe two or three times, with like an actual, not just high and by, like a real conversation that goes for an hour or so. And he was talking about this person that he had helped create the I guess basic premise of the person, like their channel. He helped with the making of it, and he had stated something to the effect of, after he helped them make this, they turned on and they started calling them uh, these different messed up things. I was like, that sounds like something that someone online would do. Once they get their full mileage out of you, then you're about as useful as a wet blanket. I mean, I've talked about the same thing with YouTube. I know these people who subbed after this video went viral are still around. They just don't care to check out anything afterward because they want to see someone whine about the chick stuff every single day. So it's not really a thing I can help or control. So it's not as bad as what happened with him because that person was going out of their way to be as um, condescending and just being as nasty as possible. But I would say that I can definitely get, people wanting something and then they get it and then deciding to play Where's Waldo, the online version. I guess we call that Where's Keyboard, or Where's Google, whatever search engine or device they use to go to different websites or channels. It sucks too because that person is actually someone I have a fairly high opinion of. So to see them get screwed like that is kind of emblematic of this issue where a lot of times I get told it's the way I am, and then I go and I watch other people who I can name multiple differences in our approach to things get the same result, and then I'm not really that convinced when I get this this critique or whatever. Just like with my friend I mentioned before, he's had the same problem with the chicks, and then we look nothing alike, and then we also have varied interests. So I'm into politics, he's not into that. I think he might be into sports. I'm not. Again, don't quote me on that. Quote me on the latter part, not the first part. But the point is that it's really funny to watch people who actually have a lot of things that are not in common struggle with the same issue and then get told it's because of who they are that's the problem. Whereas if the issue is happening to multiple people with different interests, hobbies, and personalities, that would imply there's a larger problem than just them. Like again, the simpleton mindset of people is really disturbing when you get down to it because it means that we're going to keep getting stuck with these really ridiculous answers to stuff that could be simple, but it's not as simple as what is being described by people. So you could easily say that someone who doesn't know how to drive can doesn't know how to do it because they haven't been taught by anyone. They haven't had the experience. But some of these people on here will say it's because you're inadequate. You can't do it because whatever. They won't factor in what specific or particular things happen to that person. So just like when I talk about my friend, for example, person who has goes to school as a job and is still getting told about all these extra things he needs to do, that's going to sound like uh, hell to him because he's thinking to himself, well, hell, I'm doing all these different things that people consider to be good, and you're telling me I still have to do additional things on top of that. So with him, it's just a thing of individual qualities don't really matter to them because it's their way of shortcutting to get to their narrative point. So there has to be some kind of deep, complex problem or outlining outlier issue that causes that person to have troubles. Again, in their mind, they can't fathom that a regular person can have issues with stuff that they themselves, according to them, because we don't have any proof of this, might have. Oh, look who's decided to reappear after turning into Casper slash what's another ghost character? What's that ghost guy from Justice League Dark? Can't remember his name. Don't recall. I'll figure it out eventually. Oh, and by the way, the I think we're gonna get another one of those cutoffs where basically I'll start a stream and then because faith sucks, somebody will come in and mess it up. So be prepared for that. Because apparently when you speak to yourself, that's not enough of an indication that you should leave the person alone. You have to, speak to them while they're talking to someone else. How fitting and quaint and whatnot. But that has been a year. I can count. I remember it's like after December or something. There is a Nicolas Cage movie called Pay the Ghost. Well, I'm definitely not gonna pay anyone to speak to me. If they don't want to, they don't have to. I don't care. I actually had a person who I had a falling out with over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they had mentioned that they had considered me a friend or something. I was so like it made me sick to my stomach to hear that because I've stressed before that when you meet people online, the best approach is to treat them in the same way that you would, um, I don't know, maybe a branch outside of your house, because at any point, anyone on here can disappear. They can cut you off. They can tell you off. Maybe even something worse. And that's a lot more recurring with stuff on here. So that's why I don't take any of these interactions that seriously. It's like, yeah, there are people I enjoy speaking to, but it's never to the point of, oh my God, this person won't talk to me anymore. And that's really what I've seen on here a couple of times. I had a guy who, when I was in 12th grade, was sitting online talking about some broad that was supposed to marry him and do all this stuff. And I'm just like, man, come on, you met her on the computer. They're flaky as hell in real life. Why would you think people who are flaky in the real world aren't going to be even more flaky when you encounter them, or whether when you see them in the virtual reality of here? There's also another person who made the comment that the internet is a reflection of its operator. So you'll have these people who come on here and purposely do that just so because they like the attention that they get. Get someone's hopes up. Oh, maybe I'll speak to them, and then they don't. I said, look, as someone who's had that happen, I don't let it be a thing that destroys me or gets me to feel mad or bad or sad or whatever at this point. because since they don't take it seriously, I don't need to take it seriously. It goes both ways. I was mentioning the fact that you actually have a person who, and this we talked about this in the Snowflake trilogy, that stream, who invites me to their server and then gets mad because I do in their server what they advertise their server to be. They say it's drama filled and I participate in drama, and then apparently because I do it, that's an issue. But I was talking about how I had only spoken to that person for that day, and I got annoyed because I thought that was stupid. And then they decided to make it so I couldn't speak to him anymore. So just whatever. No, not a stream. It was a server on Discord. The website where everyone wants to be a tyrant. They called their own server a drama server, and their admin muted everyone in the server because they had the power to do so because they were trying to stoke up people to get upset at them. So I muted the admin, the same one that had muted me, and he started talking trash, and I couldn't hear him, and he's literally talking to himself, and I got accused of perpetuating drama by muting the same person who had muted me, who again I only muted because they decided to mute everyone for no reason. Like they had two separate, again, just to clarify this, they had two separate voice channels with like 6 or 7 people in there. And when you're in a separate channel, you can't hear the people on the other channel. This is how you know the person's was being a prick. They muted people in the other channel where they couldn't even hear who was talking. So, it's all of it that goes together. Hmm. Whatever. I don't even take any of these websites seriously other than YouTube and maybe Twitter, but they don't like me on there because I turned their site into the advertisement bureau. I did like the answer I gave when the guy was talking, where he was like, "We're one of because I can still hear the other people," and it was like, "Oh, he said you're a coward," and I was like, "I'm not one of these people that gets sad and curl up in a ball and commit suicide because someone called me a name." Just take it to the extreme. Has anything interesting happened lately? Yeah, there was a stream earlier where there's some very, I try to stay out of different squabbles on here because I don't like to get involved. But there was a stream earlier where they had a whole bunch of people just all on top of each other, dishing out allegations and rumors and whatnot about each other and various other uh, high profile characters on this website. It was really funny because the people they were talking about, instead of addressing it on here, because it's a YouTube issue, they decide to go on Twitter and do this. Man, I hate that so much. For whatever reason, when you have a conflict on this site, instead of dealing with it on here, putting out some statements. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, guys. All right, I apologize again. People think that someone is talking, so they have to cut them off and speak. I hate e-drama, so unnecessary and counterproductive. Well, like I said, in a lot of current instances, I just deflect. Like, I have people who come in here and still want to talk about the chick stuff. I'm just like, man, look, I don't mind talking about if it's some kind of like, oh, I relate to this because of yada yada yada. But if you're like that broad from last year and you're trying to give advice over something that's dead, which is my interest in still participating in that, get out of here. Um, but no, the stuff they were saying was really stupid because they're literally just kind of going back and forth over and over again. And like what I don't get is I sit here and I go out of my way to just kind of, and I guess that's why a person like me really isn't suited for Discord, because the way I function on here, and you might have noticed this, Ruben, is unless I'm praising someone, like if I say, oh, look at this really good point that Secular Talk made, or that TYT made, I don't really bring up anyone else on this site that's an actual user, like someone that has an account and put stuff up, because I don't like the idea of peddling my, I guess, doing content related to someone else, unless it's complimentary of what the person makes, the complete opposite of drama, if you will. So when I go and I watch, go on these servers and you've got people getting pissed because someone sent them a friend request, and because someone said hello to you, you need to block them. It's like that stuff is so weird to me, because I'm not used to that, in my view, unwarranted hostility just for talking to you like a human being. And look, I have no problem talking to them like the trash that they are. No issue with that, which is why I've actually been in a couple of people's different servers and just said, look, I won't message anyone. I'll leave every single thing alone. And I have, because, like I said, I don't need any of these online interactions. I've tried to express appreciation for those that will sometimes check out the content. Um, Sometimes there's audio issues. Sometimes it's maybe a topic you're not that interested in, which is why I've tried to make uploads short. But other than that, I'm really not interested in the vast majority of people on the World Wide Web or whatever. Like, they don't matter to me, because they don't do anything other than stoke up, again, as you said, Ruben, drama or some other nonsense that doesn't accomplish anything. Like, you'll get more idiots tweeting about something stupid that whoever said than this literal genocide that the U.S. has been um, participating in for the last 4 years. It's stupid that people think all these YouTube people act in real life like how they do in their videos. So that's what kills me, because like when I had the chick stuff, I had nothing but over analyzing about my conduct during a video. It was really crazy, because I always assume that people know that what we portray. Like, it's a lot harder to do it during a stream because I have people moving around, you know, all this and whatnot. But when someone uploads something, sometimes it's scripted, sometimes they speak in a certain tone that they usually wouldn't have. If I did a video with this voice, you could tell that it's not my actual one. But people are dumb enough to where they would think, because they don't do any kind of research or look for anything, that was how I actually sounded. If I had done that, just as an example. Okay. See what else is written here. Oh, let's roll out the red carpet for VBS. A break of these sites like YouTube, Twitter, and Discord. No, I'm never taking a break from YouTube. It's the easiest one to do things on, because all you have to do is upload something and log out of your account, and that's it. When I got that comment on that Syria video, the one that Trump said he was going to pull out of Syria, then he switched his mind. I was pissed, by what the person wrote. I was so upset, because it was them literally begging to want to argue with me, that I just turned off all notifications for comments. So people write stuff to me all the time. I don't even see it for weeks, if not months. Unless it's on something recent, I just go and check and look. That's it. So it's like I said, easily the least drama filled site. Like, all the drama relating to anything with me online has come from other places, because they're not structured in the same way. Like, they all rely more on people interacting with each other. On here you just put up a video, might get some comments, but the whole psychology, and I talked about this before. You go on someone's video here that doesn't have that many subs, you say, "Oh, that's a nice video." 9 times out of 10, they'll say thank you, and that they appreciate it, whatever. They'll express some form of appreciation for you complimenting something they did. You go on Discord, message someone right now and say, "Hey, how you doing? I hope you're all right, and never met you before, but I saw you around. They get suspicious. They get freaked out. They think you're trying to have sex with them. Just like it, all of it's stupid. So again, if you don't believe me, you can go watch a Snowflake story. I almost won an argument against some guy that supported impeachment, but then I just quit. Well, that's why I don't talk to any of them on these different websites. Like unless they're in my circle, because here's the thing: even with other people who identify as progressives, they still find ways to like piss me off. Like they do this thing basically, and you might have seen it before, Ruby, because you're on Twitter. Basically, any candidate or politician that is a self-identified progressive, viewed as a progressive by media outlets, whatever, they will cast, if they do one thing they don't like, they will cast dispersions on the uh, credentials of being on the left or actually you know progressive. So, for example, I've seen them do this to Warren. They've been doing that to her for 3 years, ever since she didn't endorse Sanders in that primary. I've seen them do it to Tulsi, even a person I like. They pissed me off because they were saying, "Well, she had, I believe people can change, but I'm more concerned about her anti-gay rhetoric." It's like, are you out of your damn mind? She has 100% rating from the. There's some gay rights group. They basically, her voting record is as high as it possibly can be as it's concerned to, in the view of these different groups promoting gay equality or rights for LGBT people. So how the hell can you say I'm more concerned about what this person said than what they did? I've seen them do it to Rokana. I've seen them do it to AOC. I've seen them do it to. She just go down the list, man. Any person that's not Bernie that says they're progressive, here they come. You do one thing they don't like, and that's it. They kill me about Rokana because he was one of the only. I think it was him, AOC, and Tulsi that were the only three that voted against PAYGO or were opposed to it or something. A lot of those people are communists or at least like to pose as one. I think a lot of those people are idiots that are just a little bit smarter than the ones on the right and the neoliberals. Like I was watching that. I don't know if you saw it, Ruben. The TYT, they reposted a clip of Cenk and Anna Navarro talking on CNN, and Navarro called Bernie a goat. And Cenk brought this up after they cut the clip off, where he was saying that goat means the greatest of all time. So why would you call him that if you don't like him? Oh, they're so stupid, man. It's just, let's see. I used to do it too. Oh, it's very concerning. I hope you don't you've you've rectified your decision from the past. We'll do my higher than mighty crap. We're going to show you some elite grandstanding. I hope you've chosen to not continue to replicate the behavior for which you were wrong of in your previous years or whatever the hell. It's a fancy way of saying I hope you don't still do it. But you already said you didn't do it, so I had to find a way to swap it around and make it seem more intelligent than it actually was. I really hate it when people do that. Like I was telling this chick on Discord about when I used to still message, you know, broads online repeatedly, and how they don't respond. You send them another message, they don't respond. You might send them another message in a few days. And she was like, and I say I used to do this, right? She goes, "You don't still do that now, do you?" Like, do we need to like buy you some new ears? Did you not hear me? So another really dumb person that made the mistake of talking to for any period of time. Oh, James, have you seen any of the new episodes for season 3? Which would be 31, 32, and 33. Have you seen those yet, or what? Let's see. Ruben says, yeah, I'm trying to. It's funny is that most of these people never question or to leave. Yeah, they leave them alone. They get because they're off limits now. They've proven themselves. Marco says difficult being left when you most of the people have the left acting in stupidity. Well, that's why I don't really like to identify with them. Like I just say I'm progressive, and then I mostly just leave them to talk to themselves on Twitter because they will turn on you, man. Like we've already seen that with the Yang videos. If I don't put that guy's name in the title, all those supporters of his were like, "Oh, thank you for defending him." Completely disappear. They do that same Casper thing that James did. They go away. But then when you put his name in there, here they come. That's crazy how all these different groups are like they're so interconnected. You put one thing's title in the video and the person will come and see it, which is not the issue. But if you put the title of anything else in there, disappear. Yeah, when I went on that website and I said, anonymous voice acting project, you got like 13 or 14 auditions. You put the title of the thing, man, you get like maybe 2 people. When I was doing the spinoff or whatever, I was like, this can't be real. Like, there's no way on a site that has over 20,000 people or whatever number, you can have this many people just be like, nope, not going anywhere near that one. And I already had to keep explaining. I don't care if people don't want to do something, even though, again, I need someone to eventually say yes. It's the fact that you have to go through this continuous hassle. Like, man, I sat here one day speaking to this VA for half a week, and they asked me what it looked like, which was the weirdest question, what the story was about, how many lines they had, what my email was, had I done anything in the past, and I answered all this stuff because I said, okay, well, they're asking this because they must be interested to some extent, and they must think seriously about doing this. They stopped responding. Said, so are you going to do this? Oh no, I have major projects I have to work on, and I know that I wasted your time. It's like, yeah, you sure did. Go to hell. They voted for Pago, and then Lady Talib made the impeach diversion, then apologized. Lady Talib. I mean, that's your new nickname for her. No, she's gotten a lot of attention for really no reason. Like her and Presley, the other one of those new House Democrats, really have like those progressive ones have nothing to go off of other than rhetoric. Just saying. I mean, the thing is, AOC gets a whole bunch of coverage for no reason. Omar gets coverage because they're trying to smear her, so that it makes sense that she gets as covered as much as she does. Ro Khanna gets ignored because he doesn't have a vagina, and the other two are just kind of there. Show up every. They're the. If we could make like a progressive league in Congress, they're Batman and Superman. Like, remember that I told you before that like in the original issues of Justice League, they would have the other founding members star in every issue, and then Batman and Superman were reserve members who only showed up once in a while, occasionally. A lot of times wouldn't even be on the cover. That's what Presley and Talib are. I mean, they are just there for display. They're not actually part of the group that's out there doing stuff. Also associated with questionable people, doesn't push over top. I only gets criticism. I don't know if so I've seen Omar get rebuked over like weird stuff, like apparently marrying her brother, which is not true. It's a conspiracy theory these people started. But I'm just saying, I've seen her get a bunch of critique as well. Talib, all I ever see with her is, I can't believe she cursed. Because we all know Trump has never cursed. He's never said any bad words. And for this congresswoman to say a bad word and to swear is so bad. I can't believe she would use a bad word, and she would say something so cruel and evil and terrible, and oh my God, I can't believe that she would. Trump would never say anything bad or of that kind of nature ever, right? Oh, I'm not trying to play that stupid song. I was trying to play the clip of him.
Trump, I have a better education than them.
What's that thing?
I'm smarter than them. Much more beautiful.
Skip. Where is it?
TV network.
Man, I don't know why these stupid networks can't just play the.
I'm smarter than them. A lot to get off his chest. Targeting Adam Schiff, the Democratic chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Little pencil neck Adam Schiff got the smallest, thinnest neck I've ever seen.
Oh, I was trying to find the part where he swears, where he said the ridiculous BS that they were employing, but oh well. We all know he said that. They have it recorded. I'll pull it up eventually. That's the thing. I don't pre-plan the streams or the content, so it goes the way that it does. It's crazy that right after I fixed the computer issue, because when I was doing the show for the first 2 seasons with my computer, anytime you would put up iMovie, it would act up and the screen would turn like all these different colors and whatnot. It was old. I had that computer for over 2 years, and it was actually older than that because another person owned it before. And I swear to you, man, when I got that new device, like, okay, good, now I can actually do this stuff quicker. And instead, what's happened is that these people now hold their lines hostage. Like they've slowed down. It's really weird. Like right as that gets fixed, here's another issue to keep us right in the same place. Like you can't win. I am glad that I don't have to deal with that anymore. But it's like you trade in one hassle for the other. Like it wasn't just bad enough that there were computer issues. Now you have to deal with people not wanting to turn their stuff in, having to hound people. And, I always have these individuals who act like I'm so cruel for saying just do the crap you signed up for. Like, I don't get them, man. People are always trying to rush out to defend someone for no reason. And it's because these VAs have I only have maybe 3 of them who are consistently good about turning stuff in. The other ones are all over the place. This person disappears for 3 months, 2 months, a month, a week. So I think it's all dumb. I try to stay away from involving that many people in this stuff, which is why I voice a lot of characters like 8, 9, 10, because I just want to limit the number. Because again, I don't trust people anymore. They just kept stabbing me in the back and letting me down, especially online, which is why it's still so jarring to have someone come on here and go, I can't believe you won't be my friend. It's like, yeah, no one on here is your friend unless you meet them in person and, actually, do something that's not just on the computer. So you just got to get used to just calling people acquaintances. Stop all this attachment online is so weird, man. People are they're trying to find all kinds of stuff on here. All these people I brought up are pro-Israel and have ties with Robert Mercer. Okay, well, yeah, it's weird. Don't expect any of the progressives to critique them over that, though. They're too busy getting mad because one of 5 congressmen that actually listens to what they have to say isn't voting with them 100% of the time. I'm not. We've already talked about the issues with Obama, but one statement he made about the circle, was it the Circle Fire Squad, where every time you do something they don't like, they come after you. That was true. It was literally any comment they make, anything they say or do that is not a thing that they back, minds are lost, man. People are going insane. They can't believe it. So I think we're pretty much at a stalemate. If Ruben has anything else to add, I want to hear it. If that's it, we can close out here. I am disappointed that it got cut into because I don't like when that stuff happens. So it's just weird, man. I sat here for 2 hours, no problems at all. But then when I stream, here comes someone to try and say something. It's weird. I hate that. People are pricks. I know I could expect Mr. Hines to not say anything to me. See, he disappeared, so we don't have to worry about his interruption. He turned into Launch, where the creator of the book forgot how to draw her, so she stopped appearing altogether, or forgot what she looked like, or whatever. Or Natalie Holloway, or any of the other characters that are known for. What's the other one's name? Tara Calico. All kind of different broads that have slipped off into the distance. You probably you actually I'm pretty sure have the same first name as the Teamsters leader right now, so it all makes sense. It all goes together. And where did Ruben go? He just disappeared. Those people I brought up are basically fucked. In my earlier I know I read them. I know they're yeah, corruption, but again, it's not being talked about. So I can do a separate stream, maybe on Monday. I guess theoretically tomorrow, but I was hoping to do the Fox News roasting again, where you go and you watch the network and you just make fun of how stupid the people on there are. And laugh at all the ridiculous things that are being said. That's where I was trying to figure out if you had any final comments to make, because I didn't want you to feel like you'd been jaded or ignored or sidelined or crossed out or shoved away or ran over. I was trying to be so considerate. Oh, on that stream I was talking about, and I unfortunately I can't play it because I think the person took it down. One of the guys that was in the chat, that was on the not the chat, in the streams, like the audio, right, said something to the effect of, I paid for this person's thing because I'm just that kind of person. I just thought that was so funny. He really wants to convince you just this upstanding citizen that decided to be so considerate and selfless and compassionate. Oh my God. Even if I did something like that, I wouldn't get on here and try to bring it up or brag about it. I might if the person pissed me off and I'm like, hey, I did this for you, but whatever. People don't care. So does James have any last comments or statements to make? Or is he riddled out as well? Is he too busy watching all three currently released episodes of season 3 back to back? Because I noticed those got more views than any of the ones from last season. That was probably you. You've been exposed thoroughly. The only person that stutters when they type. I didn't even know that was possible. You just broke a magic rule of writing. And I remember when I first rolled out season 3, I was like, I'm gonna put these out, do half of them all at once, and then put those all out together. And instead, I gotta do one by one to get any of these voice actors to like half of them to do their lines. How terrific is that? So another plan dashed because people won't turn their stuff in. Hey, if I had a nickel for every time somebody online let me down, I'd be able to buy a yacht. So it's not too surprising. Man, I can read them like a book. Anyway, so thank you for appearing, and I know we had a weird title, but again, I ran out of ideas for the title. I was just sitting, I'm gonna call so I just put that in there. So I'll probably stream tomorrow, probably on Monday, and then we'll do uploads for the rest of the week after that. Am I gonna finish what? What do you want me to finish? What is there, like a burger on the screen I'm not really aware of? What am I trying to finish? Yeah, it's the point. Yeah, that's why we even put up with all this voice actor stuff to begin with. So, thank you for participating. I'm surprised by the reappearance of this shadowy character who we all thought had disappeared, like Jimmy Hoffa. I even saw that same cartoon picture he has on a milk carton, with his height and weight and all the other attributes that would make him up as an individual. And I'm very astonished to see him reappear. I can't believe it. I never thought I'd see the day. Anyways, have a good day.